Welcome back to Marriage Hot Takes. Thanks for taking a little time to join us today. We are your hosts, Aaron and Kim Degler. Each week we want to come to you and share a little bit about our experiences over the last 22 years of being married and some lessons we've learned, some things we've found successful, some things we found unsuccessful. And as always, we want to leave you each week with a hot take. So we always like to end the episode with a hot take. Basically, really, the only thing that we have written down is tentatively our title and our hot take. And then we just fill in the blanks. We have a brief show meeting, maybe.
Yeah. During lunch.
During lunch before we record these, kind of what we're going to talk about. And sometimes it goes extremely well. Sometimes we bobble it. And we make it through. Sometimes we have some tears and laughs, but it's always a good time. And you never know what is going to be said over on that microphone or what you might see from our dogs Tango and Stella. So as we get started today, if you've been listening to Marriage Hot Takes for a while, you know I am not a manly man. In other words, I don't fix things. I don't hunt things. That's, all foreign to me. But if we talk about different seasons, I am aware, I don't do it, but I am aware there's like a turkey season, a deer season, and there's a deer season when you can shoot them with a gun or you can pull a bow and arrow back and shoot them. There's the quail season, duck season, all sorts of different seasons if you're a hunter. But we are going to talk about seasons today. And of course, not hunting season. You think, what does hunting seasons have to do with?
I really was shocked you went with those seasons instead of spring, fall, winter.
Well, yeah.
And summer.
I guess there's that too.
Yeah, that just shocked me that you pulled those seasons out, or like football season, baseball season. Anyway, yeah. Go ahead.
Well,
carry on.
I'm trying to connect with the fellas.
Okay.
Yeah,
that was that.
With the fellas. Trying to be a little more manly.
Trying to get your man card.
Yes.
Okay.
And we'll go. If you like the seasons, the spring, the fall, whatever it is,
any kind of season.
Any kind of season. It all has a time. In other words, football season ends after the Super Bowl.
You're correct.
Fall has a date where it says the first day of fall or the first day of winter, which signifies the ending of a season.
But here in Texas, the first day of fall doesn't mean it's the end of summer yet.
We just roll into
this third part of summer.
Yeah.
It's just the third installment of summer. Yeah.
So we don't really, it's just a whole thing in Texas. But all those seasons, they still, even on the calendar, have an end. It's not like we are always living in summer. It's not like we always have football season. It's not like we're always having deer season. So they all have an ending. And because then it's time for something different. And during those seasons, I mean, you do certain things in the fall, in the winter, in the spring, in the summer. Same thing with hunting. You use maybe a different gun, you go different places, whatever it is. And just like all of those seasons, we have seasons in our life. Seasons, I mean, a season, there was a time for us that you worked.
A lot.
And I worked a little.
Very
little.
Little.
I was in between paths.
Yes, you were.
I wouldn't even say it was career paths. It was more like a job.
Yeah.
I was in between jobs.
Yes. You were unemployed.
I was unemployed.
That's the better word for it.
I was unemployed.
Yeah.
Kicking back, taking it easy. But anyhow.
You were.
You were picking up the slack. You were picking up the work and that was really, and when we think about that season, we're going to talk a little bit about how seasons are meant to be seasons. But sometimes I think they turn into lifestyles. For us, there was a season when I wasn't working much and you were working a lot. And then there was a time when you broke
both my elbows and my wrist.
On both at the same time,
all at once.
And so during that season, and that was like a summer, that was over a whole summer. That was like 3 months.
3 months of the summer
that you couldn't work. You couldn't, and
I couldn't do anything.
Yeah, bless your heart, you're home with the kids when they're little, and so then during that season, I had to work more and take up I hate to say the slack. It's not really the right term, but to do more to make up the difference that we needed at that time.
Yes.
And I think sometimes in marriages, our seasons that we do things differently can sometimes become our lifestyle.
Hmm.
In other words, like there were times when our kids were little, and we had four, and we had four of them in baseball or softball,
Yes.
and so we were running them all over the place. And
Hmm.
so like it would, if they needed cleats, bats, a glove, those came before our needs
Right.
because they had to show they couldn't catch with their hands. They
Right.
needed a bat, Um, so, but that was just a season. There was a time. Then eventually, the oldest one got out of summer league, and then the next one got out of summer league, and then the girls got out of summer league, and so things started to change.
Hmm.
And of course, they're going to get older. We're not going to always put them first when it comes to sports, but that season can easily become a lifestyle in that they move on to the next thing, and we're still putting them first.
Hmm.
They're still, they're all grown adults now, and that season could have easily grown into we're doing everything for them now.
Hmm. Right.
And there may be some parents that are doing that now
Yes. They're staying in the season
for
of,
their
of doing all the things for their kids.
and those become a lifestyle.
Right.
Or unfortunately, when you were hurt, that was 10, 12.
More than that, because it was before we opened the gym. That's why we opened Synergy.
Yes, so that was about 15 years ago.
Yes.
Yes, that was about 15 years ago. And so, unfortunately, why do we share seasons become a lifestyle? Because unfortunately, that season of our life became a lifestyle where you were back to working, but I kept working
Hmm.
and kept working long hours.
Yes. And then that season lasted forever that you worked the long. Well, I won't say that particular season because when we opened Synergy, you were there from early morning till 9 o'clock every night.
Hmm.
And that was when it was just the kids and I everywhere. It was just the kids and I. And it was a hard season, but there wasn't any way around that. We were trying to build a business, just like when I worked and and had my own business, and I felt like I did more as far as I was the one working and I was building my own business. And then once that ended, and then you started Synergy, you were there all the time, and you had to do that for our business. But then that can just continued forever.
Yeah, because I just kept in that mode.
You did. You have.
And it really hasn't been, how can I change that?
Right. How do I see that looking different?
Because that season is we may not like it because we didn't really like those hours, but it's what we knew.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so, and I was listening to, I think it was, I don't remember, a preacher the other day, and I was talking about how it is biblical to provide for your family.
Yeah, it was Josh Howerton.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But then we use that as an excuse.
Yes.
Because, well, I'm providing for my family, but then there becomes a certain point when that's okay for a season.
Right.
But then when it's a lifestyle, in other words, that's what I continue doing. And I like to say, well, I'm providing for my family, but I wasn't giving them what else they needed, which was me.
Right. Right. Where we just wanted you to be at home. And, even now that the kids are gone, it'd be just like yesterday. When are you going to come home? It's a whole thing.
But it's a lot less now.
Yeah. You're not working until 9 o'clock.
Right. My schedule's a lot different.
Yes. It's just you still work a lot.
Yes.
Of hours.
Yes, but it is managed differently.
Yes.
So but we have created so that again, before at Synergy, I had to be there.
Mhm.
There's really, and I didn't make it so that I didn't have to be there.
Right.
But now our schedule is, yes, I'm at work, but I get a lot of things done at work. But if we need to be gone or do something, I can. Where
Yeah.
I didn't have that freedom before.
Right. You didn't have that freedom, but sometimes I think that where you say you didn't have that freedom and there wasn't any way around it, I think that a lot of times we get stuck in that as an excuse of, well, there's really no way around it. Well, there is. You're just choosing not to.
Yeah.
Because, maybe like that sounds like a lot of work at home. There's a lot of chaos going on and I'll camp out here. And I think that a lot of times husbands and wives equally will use that as their excuse of
And it's
this is just what we have to do.
It's easy when it was a season because you're used to that.
Yeah.
And then you go roll out into it like, wait a minute.
And then
If I stay here, I don't have to do bath time. I don't have to do bedtime. I come home, everybody's
they're already in bed, and I can
calm.
just be like, okay. And then you go the whole week and you don't see them because you leave before they get up and you get home after they go to bed, and you do that all the way through till Friday, and you see them again Saturday and Sunday. And I think that happens a lot in a lot of marriages, is that then season becomes a lifestyle just because that's the way we roll for so long, and that became easy for one of the spouses, and then that continues, and then the other spouse has probably built a wall up to be like, whatever, this is what we're doing.
It's just easier.
It's easier. I don't have to. I just deal with 4 kids and not add another. We have 4 kids, so
right.
Yeah.
And then there's even seasons when you don't have kids.
Yeah.
I mean, there's seasons of maybe for us, there was one when I was going to school.
Yeah.
And you had to.
And I had to pick up I had to do it again.
And sometimes it is, and maybe one person is not on the top of their game. Maybe they're struggling with certain things, and they need maybe the other person's doing 80%, and they're barely hanging on to do 20, and it's a season, and then as the one person doing 20% is gradually overcome some of those things that they may be dealing with, and it's 30 and 40. Sometimes if we're not careful, again, that season turn lifestyle where the other person just keeps doing all the things. And then what happens there is then there becomes some resentment and some hostility towards the other person.
Right. Sometimes, too, I think it becomes a crutch. It's say you're given 90 and the other person's given 10 for whatever reasons. But then the person that's only given 10, can then use that as a crutch from here on out. Well, I don't know, really. I don't know. I don't know that I can do that. And the one given the 90 is continuing to come up to bat and to come up to bat and to come up to bat. And allows that just to keep the protection of their spouse.
When it was really just meant
for a season.
A season. Until let me help you get through this.
Yeah.
And then that protection becomes like, oh, this is kind of nice.
Yeah.
Kind of like that.
Yeah. Kind of like this quiet life.
Yeah,
I think you're looking at me.
Huh?
I think we're talking about me.
Why?
Because you're looking at me like, I think you're right.
We are not talking about it. But it's just, we just want to encourage because we all go through seasons. And I mean, if you've been married for any length of time, even if it's been for a few years, you find that there are highs and lows. And instead of highs and lows, we like to call them just seasons.
And so how would you suggest you get out of that season? I mean, if we're here to help to give advice on the little that we know, then how would you suggest you make sure that is just a season?
So we have to, and that's we have to be very self-aware, and self-awareness is not something that we're all necessarily good at. It takes practice to be self-aware, but we have to, and part of that too, I think, is loving the other person and wanting what's best for the other person. So when we're in that season, and maybe it is they have some protection, they're doing 90%, and as you start to um, feel better, do better, things are going better, then it's saying, "Hey, wait a minute, I'm doing better. Hey, honey, let me pick up what some of the things I was doing. Just one small thing, two small things, but it has to be aware. We have to be self-aware to say, I am improving, or maybe you come together as a team. We've talked, you and I have talked about a lot about a team being together. It's saying, hey, this is starting to dwindle down. Like all of our stuff with our kids is starting to dwindle down. What do we want to look like? How are we gonna move into the next thing? But so it has to go with a lot of communication, and that can get challenging if one is trying to communicate and the other one is not.
Right.
In other words, because the one may be given 90% and say, okay.
Because I mean, I just think go back to the example of you working the long hours. If I had come to you and said, okay, here's the deal. I'm at home every night with the kids. You're at work every night. How are we going to change that? That would not have gone over well.
So what could we have done?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Because we're in that season and and you're trying to communicate that, but I don't know how that would be communicated well enough for the spouse to say, okay, what do you want me to do?
So we're in the season.
Mm-hmm.
So if we're in the season, that's one thing.
It's when it becomes the lifestyle.
It's when it becomes the lifestyle. When, for us, the business is built. What are some ways? And part of that, I mean, we've had talks about how do we make, when we left from Synergy Fitness, how do we make M2B Fitness a little bit more better for time?
Right.
And so we've worked on creating that together because I've realized the need for that. You've communicated that. How do we do that? So as we looked at Synergy Fitness, that was a season that turned into a lifestyle because we didn't know.
Right.
We weren't aware.
Not at all.
But as we've grown in the last few years, we're able to communicate, and it takes some growth on your own. It's not always the other person. To be able to have that communication and to realize, because that is very true. That is, one person thinks, oh, we're still in the season.
Right.
It's go time. And the other person's like, I don't really think so. And maybe it's just communicating in the way each other communicates. I mean, that's really, yes, at that time when you would have came to me, if we were in the season, I'd be like, no.
Yeah.
But
I understand your concern, but nothing's going to change.
Yes. But we did change some things to reduce my time. We went from being, open certain hours to 24 hours. I mean, different things that would go, okay, this will help relieve some of the time burden.
Yeah.
But it has to be calm communication.
Right.
And really, and this takes practice. As you enter the season, maybe there's also communication before you enter the season. So what does this look like during? What is it going to look like after? What's our expectations of each other? What is the moving out of the season look like maybe? So it's having those conversations before it's in the heat of the moment. Like, you've been doing this for 9 years.
Right.
I thought this was going to be a 1 year thing.
Right.
And that may be the case.
Yeah.
The season may not be a couple months.
Right.
It may be when I was going to school, that season for us was a 2-year season. That
ended with student teaching.
Yeah.
That was a strenuous season because then you were
for 14 weeks.
For 14 weeks teaching school all morning, all day for a school day, and then working.
I'd come in and work that morning before I went to school.
You would train clients before, then go and teach, and then get out, and then come back and train, close the gym up, and
be home.
and that was a 14-week season.
Yes, and you, I mean, you were at the gym while I was student teaching,
Uh-huh.
and we did kind of talk about that. What's it going to look like after?
Right.
You know, we kind of knew what's this going to look like, and we did not do it intentionally.
No,
It just
no,
kind of
'cause,
happened.
yeah,
that
we
way.
would not have known to do that.
No.
No.
So our hope is that by us sharing, but
Well, because then now, I mean, like I'm in a season. Now I tell this to a lot of people and a lot of moms and anybody that will listen when you say, "How are you?" and they're like, "Oh my gosh, so busy," and blah blah blah. And I'm always like this. Oh yeah, I got plenty of time. Yep, it's quite life here. Nope, I don't live a real, hectic life, and I don't. I'm just quietly here. So that season does change. So all of those years of, working the long hours and then working the long hours when you were at school and all, it was a season. It did move on.
and when in regards to job and all that, we have been intentional about changing the time requirements of what's needed for that I work, the freedom that we can have if we're gone on vacation. We've been intentional about those. And same thing as we've been intentional about our kids. As they get older and they get married, you get one off the phone bill, one off the insurance bill, then there's another one, and then there's another one. We're intentional about that as we move into those, because a lifestyle would be, well, they're 40 and we're still paying for everything. Again, because sometimes it's easier because we don't want to see our kiddos. Now, have we helped them out with money from time to time? Yes, but that's a season. We don't, because if you are continually helping them out, they don't learn, and that becomes a lifestyle. Oh, I got a little trouble. Let me go ask mom and dad. So it's easily to become a lifestyle. But communication, as we say all the time, it has to be key in going into the season, during the season, and what does postseason. I mean, just like no, just think in sports. I don't even, know anything about sports. But what do you have? You have a training camp. You know how to get ready for it.
Training camp.
And then the game. It's game time.
Yeah.
We're all, we all know what we're supposed to do, how it's supposed to go, and then what happens after the season. Okay, we're going to recover for some injuries. We're going to
get new players.
Get new players, new coach. Don't get a new spouse after the season. No. I'm not saying that. But maybe it is a tough season, and maybe that season was really tough. It was a hard season, just like those players might need some rehab, might need some surgeries. Maybe there's some counseling that's needed for the couples. Maybe if you're in a season, you're having trouble getting out of it because it has been a lifestyle. Maybe it is because maybe there is some counseling that's needed. I think sometimes we think of counseling as a bad thing.
Yeah, when it's not.
It's
there to help improve your marriage. It shouldn't just be if your marriage is in trouble, you go to counseling. It actually is. Even when your marriage is thriving, honestly, counseling is never going to hurt.
There's always things,
you can improve on.
We just had that conversation this week about there's always something you can do better. No matter how great your relationship is, your marriage is, there's always something you could do a little bit better.
Yep.
So, this week's hot take that caught you off guard.
You did. Let me see.
So, as she finds that, we hope that you do understand that a good marriage, and good by your definitions, not good by what we might define, but a marriage
what social media defines.
Right. A marriage that you enjoy takes work, takes a lot of hard work. Just like being physically fit takes a lot of work. Having a physically fit marriage takes a lot of work.
Takes a lot of work to go out there and hunt a deer too, I heard.
It does.
I've heard that before.
Probably got it too, but who knows?
Today's hot take. Just because life asks, let me start again.
Okay. Well,
today's hot take. Just because life asks for temporary sacrifice doesn't mean marriage should accept permanent distance. Would you like me to read that again?
Yes.
Just because life asks for temporary sacrifice doesn't mean marriage should accept permanent distance.
So temporary sacrifice does not equal permanent distance because it will happen.
Right.
Temporary sacrifice can cause permanent distance. And it's sneaky,
Sneaky.
sneaky. Just like the snake in the Garden of Eden, a sneaky snake.
Yeah, sneaky.
Yeah.
Trying to take something away from you.
And before you realize it,
Yeah.
I didn't realize that was going to
Yeah.
be our lifestyle. That was going to be our permanent distance. I didn't realize.
Very
So,
good.
Thank you as always for joining us today. We hope that you take our hot take it into your relationship, take it into your marriage. Have a conversation about it. What does it mean to you? What does it look like? How does that look like in your life? What season are you in? And when's it going to be time for a different season? How's that going to look? And we just challenge you to really have that conversation over our hot takes each week to improve your marriage, because marriages are good, but they can always be better. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm your host, Aaron.
And I'm Kim.
I want to see you next time right here on Marriage Hot Takes.